You might have walked into the Ashlands thinking it would be a little spicier than the Mistlands, and then you saw the "You died" screen before your feet even touched the sand. How bad can it be? Now you know. Yes, it's bad. Everything here is a near-death experience. And if you're stuck in a death loop, you're in the right place. Valheim has changed a lot since the Ashlands first dropped. Spawn behavior is different, mechanics have shifted, and what worked in 2024 might get you killed today. This isn't a list of quick tips, it's a full survival guide. Give me 20 minutes and I'll help you go from victim to victorious Viking. Because beyond this hot mess lies our next challenge, and I want you alive long enough to see it. This guide is structured with chapters, so if you're already comfortable with parts of the Ashlands, feel free to skip ahead. It also assumes vanilla game settings, including no metal through portals, so everything here works for a first vanilla playthrough. But if you're using quality of life shortcuts like I do, great, it only gets easier and you can skip those parts. I'm Marlena, and today we're tackling the most brutal biome Valheim has ever thrown at us. Part 1. Preparation. Preparation starts long before you sail south into that boiling red ocean. First, the Drakkar. This is the only ship that survives boiling water. To craft it, you need to upgrade your artisan table using the majestic carapace you've got from the Queen. That unlocks ceramic plates, which are required for both the Drakkar and the new Ashland structures. Once that's set up, craft your Drakkar and load it with materials for at least 2 portals, materials for 2 shield generators, 1 for your landing zone and 1 for your first base. The shield generator requires a shield core, black core and ceramic plates. The shield core is also crafted at the artisan table, so make sure you unlock that first before heading south. Grab some stacks of metal as well, so you're able to craft essential in the Ashlands, like copper, tin, bronze and iron. And you need wood and stone for workbenches and raising ground. Set up your landing portal at home before you leave, so you always have a safe way back. Now, load out. Before you leave, decide how you want to fight. For me, a hybrid setup was the only thing that reliably stopped my death loop. Other builds either lacked survivability or felt too clunky. Here's the exact gear that kept me alive. Weave trousers for Iter region, the root harness for pierce resistance, the carapace helmet for that extra armor boost, and a feather cape for mobility, jumps and gliding. Yes, the root harness and feather cape are weak to fire. I know, that sounds insane in a fire biome. But the pierce resistance saves you from arrows, which are everywhere, and the cape gives you the mobility edge you will need. The fire weakness can be easily negated by drinking barley wine. For food, I ran a hybrid mix. The Mistlands Feast, the strongest stamina meal at my disposal, as well as the strongest magic food. Adjust this to the setup you will be using accordingly. Don't be stingy with potions. Some of these are non-negotiable, like barley wine and poison resistance meat. Optional but strongly recommended are stamina and movement meats like Ratatos, Lightfoot or Stamina Regen, since speed and flexibility saves lives here. Health meats for when things go sideways, and they will. Iter Regen meats to give you a boost when needed. Use what you can afford, nothing is wasted in the Ashlands. If a meat keeps you alive, it did its job. Weapons. Spirit and frost damage are king in the Ashlands. If you have them, bring Spine Snap with frost arrows for reliable range damage and great control. A Mistwalker and/or Frostner. The Mistwalker deletes enemies fast and shines in aggressive play, while the Frostner trades raw damage for safety. Its knockback is incredible for buying breathing room when fights get messy. For magic users, bring the staves you're comfortable with. The Staff of Embers for strong range damage and area control. The Staff of Frost, excellent for slowing and controlling groups. And the Staff of Protection, the MVP. This staff is your panic button, your mistake buffer, and the reason you survive situations you absolutely shouldn't. I personally don't love the Dead Razor, but some of you swear by it. If it works for you, use it. One more thing before you leave. Pick your trinket carefully. Choose one that fits your playstyle. For example, the Heart of the Forest gives you health regeneration, Wolf Sight boosts piercing builds like bows or spears, and magic users might prefer the pulsating earrings for frequent item regen. In a biome like the Ashlands, where you're constantly fighting, dodging and parrying, these effects trigger very often. And even if you don't always notice it in the moment, that extra stamina or item or damage can give you the edge in critical situations. With all of this gear, your vanilla inventory will be very tight. I use a minimal mod setup because I hate juggling items, and I recommend extra slots if you want more breathing room. But it's totally doable vanilla. It just means carrying only non-negotiables and making more trips. Part 2. The Landing. D-Day. Okay, you're packed. Time for the part where most people wipe. The landing. Start from an outpost near the southern edge of your map. Wait for morning. Do not sail into the Ashlands at night if you can avoid it. Visibility is trash and the night spawns are interesting in the oh my god help kind of way. As you approach the spikes, you have two options. Sail slow and careful, or go full speed but with clean passing, avoiding any contact. I go slow because my navigation skills are, let's say, mediocre. Keep a workbench ready, so you can slap it on a spike for emergency repairs. You'll likely meet bone maw serpents and vultures on your way. Whatever you do, don't hit with your own ship. For serpents, shoot them from the railing with your bow or your frost staff. For vultures, standing in the middle of the ship is the best way of not missing them. As you hit the coast, slow down. The water boils, so you don't want to swim a marathon. Ideally, you want to land on a large solid rock right off the coast, something you can jump onto immediately without swimming. What you are looking for is space and silence. Fewer enemies moving around, fewer structures nearby, and no immediate pressure the moment your feet hit the stone. This is the moment of truth. Jump out then. Immediately place a workbench, immediately place your homecoming portal, and link it. Go through once to check it works. We are safe now. Just kidding, we aren't. Then place your first shield generator, making sure your ship is inside the dome if possible. Now you can return home at any time you need it. Start your Ashlands adventure by clearing nearby spawners from inside or just at the edge of the dome using your bow or magic. One more rule: if the sun goes down and you're far from your base bubble, just go home. Farm barley, cook food, repair gear. Night exploring is a I got this, I'm a pro moment right before you explode. And once you step outside that shield, this biome stops forgiving mistakes. Part 3. Enemies and combat flow. In the Ashlands, the land hates you almost as much as the mobs do. The water cooks you, lava is instant death, ash storms give you nighttime visibility in the middle of the day. And when burning trees fall, they don't just make noise, they call everything in the neighborhood. The environment constantly pushes you into bad positions. What starts as one enemy turns into everything at once in about 3 seconds. Your most powerful weapon here isn't gear, it's a calm brain. These are the rules that keep you alive. Keep your shield up if you're using the Staff of Protection, and don't fight hungry or unrested. Avoid getting surrounded by moving constantly and deleting smaller threats first. Use rocks and elevation to break line of sight, but don't get comfortable. Enemies here can climb, and this is why you keep an unnamed portal at home. When it gets too messy, create distance, drop a workbench and place a portal to escape fast. No one is judging you except your tombstone counter. This biome rewards control, not bravery. And keep dropping portals as you go. Your future you will be very grateful for a quick way back when things go horribly wrong. Now let's break down exactly what you are fighting. Twitchers. These are the grey dwarfs of the Ashlands. Small, annoying and everywhere. The danger is stagger. They stack your stagger bar fast and sneak in hits while you're busy fighting with bigger enemies. If they're in melee range and not running away, I always prioritize them. A full stagger bar plus 1 heavy hit from a charred warrior is how you end up face down wondering what just happened. If a twitcher runs, don't chase it blindly, unless you're feeling lonely and want a lot of company. Charred archers follow the same rules, except they hit much harder. Same logic, higher priority. delete them early. Lava blobs, walking grenades. When they get close, they explode. Do not melee them unless you have a death wish. Then dodge roll through at the right moment. Once you know their timing, you can turn them into weapons. Their explosions damage enemies and terrain, including your nice little walls and ramps. Vultures. Easy to kill but annoying in groups. They don't attack if you're holding a torch or are near a bonfire. Otherwise, they love to join already messy fights and chip away at you. Whenever you can, quickly pick them off while dodging other attacks. One vulture is nothing. 5 vultures during a heavy fight is like, that was interesting. Charred warriors. Slow but scary. They use feint, wind up, pause, then swing, which messes with your parry timing. Dodging is often the safer option until you learn the rhythm. They are weak to spirit damage. Use rocks and terrain, kite them if needed, but don't kite them into more trouble. Askswin. Fast, aggressive knockback machines. Their damage isn't insane, their knockback is. Their entire life purpose is to punt you into lava. Fight them away from edges and lava pools. They are easy to parry and the Mistwalker finishes them off quickly. Morgans. Big, loud and destructive. They roll around like they own the place. Their rolling attack hits hard, wrecks terrain and attracts other mobs through pure chaos. Treat them like heavy machinery. Parry their melee attacks if you are comfortable. Hit once or twice, then move. And don't get rolled over. Use terrain to control the fight. Fallen Valkyries. These ladies are your personal airstrike. Their claw attack is fast and hurts. The spin can be deadly and absolutely is if your bubble isn't up. In the air, they use ranged magic that deals fire and poison damage. This is where barley wine and poison resistance are mandatory, unless you have a death wish or god tier dodging skills. The best way to deal with them: frost arrows, frost magic or other ranged damage. Charred warlocks only spawn inside fortresses and at the mysterious locations tied to the Dyrnwyn questline. Thank Odin for small mercies. Watch out for their green fireball. It deals fire and blunt damage on impact and leaves an AoE circle that burns if you stand in it. They also summon their own version of Twitchers, up to 10, which turns fights into chaos fast. Like other charred enemies, they are weak to spirit damage. Spine Snap at range or Frostner in melee works well. If there's a warlock on the field, they are priority number 1. Kill them first or the fight never ends. Part 4. Gathering and Resources. If you thought you were done farming, no. Welcome to the Farming Simulator Inferno Edition. Your priority consumables: smoke puffs and fiddleheads. You can't plant these, so grab them whenever you see them. Vineberry clusters. Farm these early, then plant the seeds at home near walls or structures for a steady supply. Esquin tails, vulture meat and vulture eggs. Save these for new food recipes. Bone maw serpent meat. A great early health food once roasted at the iron cooking station. Also, keep your Mistlands farms running. You'll still need plenty of refined Either, Zap, soft tissue and mage caps or Jotun puffs. Better food equals better survivability. Don't walk into the Ashlands on leftovers from the swamp. The next key resource you are looking for are ancient cores. You need those to unlock stone portals, which finally lets you transport metal through portals on vanilla settings. Ancient cores are found inside putrid holes. They look similar to troll caves, just darker, angrier and much less welcoming. Inside you'll find the ancient cores, some valuable loot and a Morgan, so be ready to fight. There's also a chance you'll stumble across a Vecvizir here that reveals the first mysterious location tied to a larger questline. But we'll come to that later. Now, flame metal. You mine it from these large pillars. Once you start damaging them, there's a chance the pillar begins to sink. It won't happen immediately every time, but it will happen eventually. So, prefer pillars that are very close to the land. Always have a safe path back, raised ground, a nearby rock or the shore. Be mentally ready to jump to safety the moment it starts sinking. Use basalt bombs. They create temporary platforms over lava and can save you if a pillar is in a bad spot. Don't overstay your welcome on a sinking rock. Once you have your first stack or two of flame metal, stop. You don't need to mine every pillar right away. Focus on getting enough for the battering ram. Anything else you stumble across will have its use later. I won't cover every single resource. Just keep a stack of what you find if you can. The game will let you know when something becomes important. Part 5. Sieging Fortresses. Ashlands is all about charred fortresses. What you're looking for is a massive structure with a bright green pillar of light rising from the center. If you see that glow through the ash and storms, you've found it. Charred fortresses are spread all across the Ashlands, but they can be surprisingly hard to spot. Between ash storms, rough terrain and constant pressure, it's easy to walk right past one without realizing it. If you don't see that green light yet, don't worry. Keep moving, keep scouting. It will reveal itself. And now that you've found your first real target, the game wants you to build catapults and battering rams and do a classic siege. I'm a solo player. I don't have time for that. We are going to be exterminators. If you brought iron, place a workbench and stone cutter near the wall. And your escape portal. This part is not optional. Put everything in a safe-ish spot where you can retreat if things go sideways. Alternatively, bring 2 stacks of stone and a workbench and raise the ground instead of building stairs. Same results. Step 1. Delete the ballistae from a distance using your bow or magic. If you let them fire at you, they will ruin your day. Step 2. Build stairs or raise the ground to reach the top of the wall. Do not use the battering ram on the main gate. If you smash the gate, everything inside rushes out at once. And that's very hard to manage solo. From the top edge, look inside and locate the spawners in the corners. You have 2 options. Use ranged attacks from above to destroy the spawner safely. Or if you are feeling brave, jump in, kite enemies and smash the spawners in melee. That's very hard mode. Inside, there's usually a charred warlock on top of the central tower. Often there are more of them spawning inside. As a reminder, they turn controlled fights in a chaos fast. So treat warlocks as a high priority target. Take them out first. Ranged attacks are your safest option. One thing to expect. Enemies will often stack up on the walls and pepper you with ranged attacks while you are trying to take out the spawners. That's normal. If you need to, back off. Retreat, reshield, heal up and then try again. Don't waste time trying to clear every mob on the wall. As long as the spawners inside the fortress are still alive, they will just keep respawning. Ignore the noise, the spawners are the real objective. Once the ballistae are gone, the spawners are destroyed and the warlocks are dead, you can carefully clean up whatever is left. Now drop your second shield generator and a portal inside. Congratulations, you now live in a fortress. If you are playing vanilla, this is the perfect place to use your stone portal so you can move flame metal and loot back home. Place the matching portal at home and you are free to transport everything without sailing. Inside the main tower you find more loot. A Vec Vizier pointing to Father's altar, bell fragments for the boss summoning item and chests with gems and flame metal. To enter the tower, you will need the battering ram, which costs 20 flame metal and some ashwood. If you've been following along, you should have that by now. If not, you'll either find some of it here or head back out and finish gathering. From here, you can start crafting new gear. What you make first depends on the gem colors you find. And yes, that part is random. This leads us to one important Ashlands mechanic: gems and weapon enchantments. Many of the new weapons first exist as a basic version. For example, you craft the Berserker Axes or the Ashfang first. Once you start finding gems, new enchanted versions of those weapons are revealed. Each gem unlocks different enchantments. If you find an Iolite or Bloodstone, you'll see options like the Stormfang, Bloodfang or Thundering Berserker Axes. Enchantments tied to Jade, like Rootfang or Primal Berserker Axes, won't appear until you actually find a Jade. And if you can handle it, don't upgrade the base weapon yet. When you turn it into an enchanted version, the weapon resets back to level 1. So it's better to wait until you've chosen your enchantment before spending materials on upgrades. Based on what you get early, here are some solid options to consider. The Troll Staff or Staff of Nature for mage or hybrid builds. Storm Axes for melee and easily the most fun way to cut trees. Stormfang or Rootfang for archers. Before crafting any gear, pause for a second and check your workstation upgrades. The Gem Cutter upgrade for the Black Forge requires a Bloodstone, so make sure you keep at least one for that before spending the rest on weapons. From this point on, it's rinse and repeat. Conquer more fortresses, plaster the Ashlands with portals, and gather everything you need for upgrades. Once you've geared up and are confident, it's time for the boss fight. Part 6. The boss. Father. Is he hard? In my experience, he's easier than the queen, if you know what's happening. But before you summon him using the 3 bells crafted from fragments found in Charred fortresses, clear out the arena area from mobs. And don't forget to place a portal nearby in case you haven't already. But make sure it is not too close or his attacks will smash it. Also, remember to pick your Forsaken power carefully. Bone Mass is the safest choice if you are fighting in melee. Even after the nerfs, the damage reduction can be clutch when things go wrong. Eikthyr is always a strong option if you want more stamina and mobility, especially helpful for dodging and repositioning. And Yagluth gives you a flat damage boost, which is great for an early damage window if you are confident in the fight. And here's what to expect during the fight. Father has a mix of melee and area attacks. His basic swings and spin attacks are straightforward. Dodge or disengage when he winds up. When you see large green circles on the ground, look for the opening or just jump over them. His fire breath is a cone in front of him, so stepping to the side is usually enough. The spikes are the tricky part. They track you, and if you sprint, they get faster. So walk calmly, then make a short run just before they erupt. It feels weird at first, but staying calm makes all the difference. And finally, meteors. You've seen those with Yagluth. Look up, keep moving, and don't panic. And now let's talk about the game plan. When the fight starts, open strong. Go into sneak before he lands, and hit him with your hardest melee attack as soon as he appears. This is also the best moment to pop a Berserker meat and any offensive Forsaken power. Get that safe damage in early. After that, it's all about buffs and stamina and dodging. Keep barley wine up at all times and use Ratatosk whenever you can. Healing and stamina regen meats are there so you can keep dodging without staring at your health bar all the time. Positioning matters more than greed. Don't sprint constantly. Conserve stamina. Dodge first, attack second. As for the minions he spawns, you don't need to kill them. Avoid them. Father doesn't care about his own allies and his attacks hurt them too. Kite minions through fire or spikes and he'll eventually clean up his own mess for you. Playstyle wise, this fight is flexible. If you're magic focused, use vines and troll summons close to him. Keep your shield refreshed and stay mobile. If you are melee, go in during downtime between area attacks. He doesn't have a big weakness, so use the weapons you're most comfortable with. And back off during large AoEs. And if you're an archer, stay mobile and fire whenever it's safe. The root set is a viable option here, and with high bow skill, this works very well. The general rule of thumb for this fight is simple. Stay calm and be patient. Some phases are all dodging and no damage, and that's fine. Just stay alive, stay focused, and Father will go down. Part 7. Bonus. Dyrnwyn, the Flame Sword. Victory! You survived the Ashlands and could stop here. But if you want the coolest weapon, or should I say hottest weapon in the game, you're not done yet. Dyrnwyn the Flame Sword isn't a normal job. Getting it means following a separate quest line, not just killing the boss. And honestly, the fight at the end of it is harder than the boss you just beat. Let's talk about how to get it. Step 1. Putrid Halls. Explore Ashlands caves. Inside, there's a chance to find the Vecvisir that marks your first mysterious location on the map. At each of the first 2 mysterious locations, approach carefully until the spawner is enraged. Destroy the spawner first. It spawns 2-star enemies, including 2-star warlocks if the game feels spicy. Then clear the area from range and loot the fragment inside. Each location has a Vecvisir that leads you to the next one. One thing that will probably happen during this quest line, the next location might be far away. That means sailing again. And if you're lucky like me, you'll get headwind the entire way, while vultures and bone-mouthed serpents keep harassing you. That's annoying, but the reward is worth it. And everything we talked about earlier when sailing through boiling waters still applies here. If you can get out of the lava sea for a moment, sail along the coastline and only cross back once you're roughly at the height of your target location. And just like before, bring supplies. Good food, arrows, wood for workbenches and materials for your travel portal. That way, even if things go south along the way, you're never completely stuck. The third mysterious location is different, because this is the tomb of Lord Rito. First, make sure you have a portal placed nearby, and go in fully prepared with your best weapon. The dungeon itself is narrow, dark and awkward to move in. Perfect conditions for a boss that hits like a truck. Lord Rito himself hits harder than farther. He can and will one-shot you through max armor with max food, so you do not get to be hit. Use vines from the Staff of Nature or root effect like from the Root Fang to create space. Kite him around the pillars. If you manage to root him, chip away safely from range, or if you're feeling brave, strike from behind while he's rooted and disengage immediately when the root breaks. Cheese strategies are absolutely allowed here. He's fast, roots don't always stick and mistakes are punished instantly, so always be ready to dodge or reposition. When you defeat him, you'll get the last of the 3 parts. Take them to your Black Forge. Combine them with flame metal and bloodstones to craft Dyrnwyn. You can upgrade it as far as the game allows and then take your victory screenshot. Then go and set the world on fire. Literally. Conclusion. The Ashlands is the ultimate test. It's punishing, it's loud and it's chaotic. Even with this guide, you will panic. But if you prepare your gear, respect the spawn rates, watch your stagger bar and maybe don't stand in the lava, you won't just survive, you'll win, eventually. And with that done, the Ashlands is yours. Now it's time to clean up the mess, rebuild what burned down and prepare for whatever journey comes next. And if the next biome still isn't here yet, maybe try something different. Join us for a trophy hunt challenge, experiment with some incredible mods, or just take a breath and enjoy the world you just survived. Valheim will eventually get colder. Until then, Skål!